Hi everybody, we're going to get started with April Club Q. I love this kit because it is very quick and easy to put together. Can be used for spring photos, family, a little bit of everything would be on this one. It's a very general theme. It does have flowers, but I use pictures of my boys in this anyway, so. Coming from a boy mom, I have 3. I still use flowers because I love the look on the page. So let's get started. The suggested powder puff chalking inks are Sky Blue, Aqua, and Moonstone. I actually have here turquoise. I think I have Dragonfly as well. Yeah, Dragonfly. Any of the teal aqua colors would work. Also, if you want to bring out more of the red, you could always use Bloody Mary or Barnboard. Let's see, even Manzanita is a good brown with lots of red in it that would look nice with this too. So totally up to you what you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm going to bring in my trimmer because there's a few pieces that we need to cut here. They're really simple diagrams to follow, so I will walk you through those. Get my trimmer out here. I am going to actually start with the biggest diagram here, which is the blue dot paper. So you should have a 12 by 12 dot paper. And we are going to cut 6 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So what I'm going to do is cut, I'm going to put it in at 3 3/4. And I'm going to trim and then just move it down to 3 3/4 again. Trim. And then move it one more time to 3 3/4. And trim. And then you can do all of these separately if you want, but I am going to put these all in at one time and cut it at 5 1/2. Some trimmers will cut through 2 or 3. You know your trimmer. So if you want to do them separately, you can. Just go ahead and hit pause, turn it back on whenever you're have yours cut. But I'm going to do at 5 1/2. So when I do layer the papers like this so that they don't move, I always start with the blade down here so that when you push up, it pushes against your trimmer right here so it doesn't move. So we're at 5 1/2. That gives you 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to move it down one more time to 5 1/2 and trim again. So if you did those singly, just hit pause and you can move them through each piece at 5 1/2. And then we have a few smaller pieces to cut as well. You should have these 3 pieces. And we're going to do the dot 3 by 9 first. Those need to be cut into 3 3 by 3s. So we'll just put this in at 3 inches. Move it down 3 inches. And then the last one will be a 3 by 3 as well. And the next one is the 3 1/2 by 10 1/2 dot paper. So it would be this lighter white with dot. And we are going to cut them into 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. So it's already 3 1/2 this way. We're going to do 3 1/2 this way. Move it down, 3 1/2 again. 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, and then I think the last thing we need to cut is this teal paper, and it's a 4 by 12. We are going to cut it into a let's see, 4 1/2 by 12 pieces. And the reason you have such a big piece here is because if we gave you a little skinny piece, it's really hard to get that 1/2 inch off the side of that. So we're going to put this in, and I'm just going to cut. It's 4 inches, so I'm going to put it right here at the 3.5 and cut off a strip that's a 1/2 inch, and we need 4 of those. Move it down another 1/2 inch. Oops. And a 1/2 inch. And then you have some left over here to use for whatever. We just like to give you a bigger piece so it's easy to cut. Okay, so I think we have all the cutting done. The only other thing that needs to be cut is your, let's find them here, 2 little embellishment pieces here, your journaling piece, and then the little strip that goes on your pocket down here. And I actually kind of miscut this, so there's a little piece of white showing there, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to try and trim it off. I'm just going to chalk around it, and you'll never know that that white piece is showing. So once you have those cut out, you can get your trimmer out of the way. And I have my background pieces set up here. Get all my pieces out. And what we are going to work on first are the 2, I'm going to try and work on both pages at one time. The 2 larger white pieces, I think they're 6 by 12. One goes up the side of page 2. One goes about a 1/2 inch from the bottom of page 1. And I'm just laying these out for the moment. I actually have to grab my adhesive real quick. Oh no, here it is. And I'm just going to kind of lay things in place for the moment. And then I'm going to go back through and I will glue things down. I just kind of like to get things in place first. And remember to chalk them as you go. Feel free to use any of the colors that you like. If you have pictures that have more blue in them, you might want to chalk them with blue. If you have pictures that have more red, you maybe use barn board or one of the more red colors. And I'm actually not going to lay these out yet because we need to put our little strips on the ends here. Let's go ahead and adhere those on. I am going to, actually I'm going to use the Barely Art glue because I just need a little strip of glue on there. Had to grab it. Okay, so this lets you do a very fine line. We love this Barely Art glue. I think it's $9.99 on our website. And I'm just going to put a very little strip of glue. It doesn't even have to be an entire length of this, just so that your teal piece stays on. And what I'm going to do is this little teal piece, we just want about half of it showing, so we're going to glue this to the back, and you want about 1/4 of an inch showing. And the reason I like to use this glue is because it gives you just a second before it dries permanent to be able to kind of slide it around and get what you need there. So you want about 1/4 of an inch showing. And I will do the same at the bottom. And it doesn't have to be all the way across, just a few dots here and there all the way down. And again, about a 1/4 of an inch showing. It gives you just a second to move these in place. And we're going to do that same thing with the second white piece. I'm just doing one side at a time because this glue does dry fairly fast. It does give you that second or two to kind of move things around, but the glue is dry pretty quickly. So I'm just doing one end at a time. There we go. And we'll do the other side. This glue is really great for the more intricate little die cuts and stuff too. Or if you're putting on little beads or something like that. It's great because it leaves just a small little dot on there with that precision tip. And I'm sure I talk about this every video, but we love that glue. In case you haven't noticed yet. Okay, so we have those in place. I am going to, so I said that I cut this out and I left a little bit of the white piece, so I'm just going to chalk that up around the edge. And I'm using turquoise because I'm going to make it a kind of a brighter page. And there should be a piece of blue already cut out for you that was in the die cut. And this goes right on top of it. We're going to make the pocket here. This gets centered in the middle. Oops, I didn't quite get it in the middle. Good thing I have that 1 second to move it. Oh no, it's almost dry. There we go. Okay. So with this pocket, we are going to put it about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. You only want to do the very bottom and the very edge so that you can make a pocket out of it. So just the bottom and really close to the edges so that you can put the tags in. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down about 1/2 inch from the bottom and about 1/4 of an inch from the right side. And then go ahead and chalk up your photo mats. I love this new turquoise color. I keep using it on everything that I can lately. Just love the brightness of this. If you want to use something more subtle, there's sky blue, moonstone, which is a little more towards aqua, or even aqua would work really nice on this too. Or you can do different colors. So if you want to do blue, red, blue, that would look nice too. And maybe if I have one sitting here, maybe I'll do that just so that you can see what that looks like. And then you can choose. Put this one here. I have, let's see. I'm working at my mom's desk right now, so Patsy, I'm going to use whatever Patsy has sitting out here. Okay, we have a brand new manzanita, which is a brown, but it has lots of red in it, so I'm going to see what that looks like on here. Ooh, that's really pretty. So yeah, the red looks really nice on here. So if you decide that you want to highlight more of the red, the Manzanita looks nice. But Bloody Mary is really close to this. Barn Board is really close to this. Totally up to you. And on this side, I think I'll do 2 red and a blue. And when I chalk, I just run it down the edge, and then I do a little more on the corners, just to stand out a little bit. I hear a train coming, so it's going to get loud. And most of you know, if you do our online events, we give away a lot of prizes, because every time a train goes by our warehouse, we give away a prize when we're doing our live events. If you have not done our live events, we would love to have you join us. It's so much fun. It's one day, we do it once a quarter. So it's one day from 9 to 2:30. And we have all new classes. You order your bundle in advance. You get your bundle in the mail, and then we go live on our Facebook page and we walk you through step by step each kit. We give away lots of prizes, train prizes. Our next one is June 28th. So if you haven't gotten your bundle, I think we have about 40 bundles left for that one. They usually sell out, so you get 4 classes for $59. We send them all to you, and then we'll walk you through it step by step. If you cannot make it on the day of the event, we will have the videos on our Facebook page for 30 days, or you can always find it on YouTube. So we'll have them on YouTube forever. So yeah, when that happens during a live event, we give away a prize, and we give away lots of prizes. Super fun. Go ahead and chalk these up too if you want. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that. It's the turquoise. I'm going to use Dragonfly on one of these, which is just a little bit different. Has a little more green in it than the turquoise, so it kind of depends on what you're looking for. I'll do one in Manzanita. You should have a little pack of embellishments. They all come organized like this. And you have little brads that will go into the tops of these. And then you have buttons to go at the tops of each of those. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And again, I'm not going to chalk everything on this video, but you go ahead and chalk up anything. Just hit pause and make sure everything is chalked up like you want it, and then you can turn it back on and be good to go. And if you are doing these, we have them kind of overlapping in the picture. But if you don't have photos in them yet, you're not going to want to overlap, or you just put a little adhesive right in the middle so that you can get the picture underneath there, okay? I'm going to just tack these down a little bit. Add pictures later. This one I had down just a little bit. And you can overlap these if you want to. Glue these down. don't use a ton of adhesive because once it gets into your page protector, they stay on pretty well. So I don't worry about putting adhesive all across each piece. Oops. I didn't get these lined up exactly. You can take more time on yours. Then I am going to adhere this entire piece to the page about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. And same for this page. I'm gonna flip all these over. And when I'm doing pieces like this, I usually do the top, and then I put the bottom about the same distance from the edge and the bottom, and then just center the one in the middle. Get this big piece glued down. About 1/2 inch from the left. Oops. I think I cut my paper a little big. And get the whole end trimmed off there. Okay, you can, oops, chalk up your journaling piece if you'd like. The only other pieces are your flowers, and feel free to put these anywhere you would like. We have this one kind of offset here on the edge. And put just a couple dots of this glue. That's enough to hold it down. And again, if you don't have pictures in here, just make sure you don't glue right here so that you can fit your picture underneath. I'm going to chalk up the flower in red. Manzanita, and there is a smaller flower that goes right on top of it. You can chalk that up if you want to. Maybe I'll put a little blue on that one, or leave it white. Little dot of glue. Add that. And you have little reddish colored pearls in here. Top it off with the pearl. And do the same thing over here on your pocket. Oops. These tags can be used for more little photos, for journaling, just adding a word or two. They're just kind of an extra little decoration. Oh no, I put the glue on the wrong side. And one more pearl. And ta-da, we are done. You can add your buttons to the tops of your photos if you want to here, or you can wait until, or your photo mats, or you can wait until you have pictures in there and then just kind of add these as an embellishment. I'm gonna go ahead and put them on. So I think I can still fit a photo underneath there. Oops. And then you just have your brads for your tags over there. And you have a complete page. That was a pretty quick one. Love these colors together. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for being a Club Q member, and we will see you next time.